What a night for Golden State, because in the middle of all the noise surrounding trade rumors, internal questions, and constant speculation about the future of this roster, the Warriors stepped onto the floor and simply played winning basketball. Against New York, this was the kind of performance that allows everyone involved to exhale for a moment and remember exactly what this group is capable of when things click. It was not just about beating a quality opponent, it was about reminding the rest of the league that this team, when locked in, still carries the DNA of a contender. Stephen Curry once again set the tone, finishing the night with 27 points and controlling the rhythm of the game, even when his shot did not immediately fall. He opened the evening cold from deep, missing his first few attempts, but there was never a sense of panic. The confidence stayed intact, the movement stayed sharp, and eventually the shots began to drop. From that point on, the gravity he created stretched the defense and opened space for everyone else to operate. Watching him adjust in real time, reading coverage and choosing his spots, continues to be one of the most impressive aspects of his game. Jimmy Butler matched that intensity on the other side of the offensive spectrum, delivering a powerful, aggressive performance that defined the Warriors' physical edge in this matchup. He attacked mismatches, embraced contact, and lived in the mid-range and at the rim on his way to 32 points. What stood out most was not just the scoring total, but the efficiency and control. Butler took care of the ball, defended with purpose, and made life uncomfortable for anyone trying to guard him. That brand of basketball, built on force and focus, is exactly what this team needs alongside Curry's finesse. Still, the real story of this one goes beyond the stars. For much of the season, Golden State has struggled when the supporting cast failed to rise to the moment. This league does not reward top-heavy rosters that receive nothing from the bench. And on this night, the role players finally flipped the script. The energy, shot-making, and confidence from the second unit completely changed the feel of the game and allowed the Warriors to sustain momentum instead of surviving on bursts. Moses Moody was the clearest example of that impact. His performance was a reminder of why he continues to hold real value within the league and why moving him would not be an easy decision. Moody played with freedom, knocking down shot after shot and never hesitating when the ball found his hands. He finished with 21 points, shooting efficiently from the field and catching fire from beyond the arc. The confidence he showed was contagious, and even without filling up every column of the box score, his shooting alone forced New York to rethink defensive assignments. Beyond the scoring, Moody's presence spaced the floor and rewarded ball movement. When a young player shows that level of poise and readiness, it changes how defenses react and how coaches trust lineups. Nights like this illustrate the upside he brings and why patience can still pay off. His ability to defend on the perimeter and punish help defense makes him an ideal fit in games where the Warriors need balance rather than hero ball. As a team, Golden State also handled the details that often decide games. Ball security was a major improvement, with the offense limiting mistakes and avoiding the careless turnovers that have haunted them in other losses. When a team keeps its turnovers in a manageable range, it gives itself a chance to control tempo and dictate matchups. Pair that with sharp three-point shooting, and suddenly the math of the game tilts heavily in your favor. That exact formula played out from start to finish. Another huge lift came from Brandon Podziemski, who delivered one of his most complete performances of the season. He scored 19 points on near-perfect shooting, consistently making the right read and finishing difficult attempts with confidence. Some of the shots he hit were borderline unreal, contested fadeaways and quick releases late in the clock that had the arena buzzing. His creativity and fearlessness continue to flash star-level potential, even if there are still moments where he needs to slow the game down. There were a few turnovers mixed in, reminders that he is still learning how to manage pace at this level, but the positives far outweighed the negatives. Podziemski's ability to make tough shots, create space, and punish defensive lapses gives the Warriors another offensive weapon they can lean on when the floor tilts toward their stars. Performances like this show why the organization believes so strongly in his development. All of this combined created a picture of a team rediscovering its identity. The ball moved, the shots fell, the defense competed, and the bench delivered. It was not flawless, but it was focused, and in a season filled with questions, focus might be the most valuable thing Golden State can reclaim right now. Jimmy Butler's night deserves even more attention when you dig into how clean and controlled his game really was. 32 points on efficient shooting, no wasted movement, and most importantly, no turnovers. That is the kind of stat line that quietly wins games at the highest level. Butler did not force anything, yet he was relentlessly aggressive. Every drive had a purpose, every post-up came with patience, and every decision felt calculated. When he plays like this, he stabilizes the entire offense and gives Golden State an edge they simply do not have when he fades in the background. Stephen Curry, meanwhile, continues to defy logic when it comes to longevity and impact. At this stage of his career, watching him dominate still feels surreal. He finished with 27 points, 7 assists, and 4 three-pointers, and even those numbers do not fully capture the influence he had on the game. Defenders stayed glued to him well beyond the arc, which opened up cutting lanes and created mismatches elsewhere. Even on possessions where he did not touch the ball late, his presence dictated how New York defended every action. What makes Curry special is not just the shooting, but the evolution of his overall game. He has grown stronger, more physical, and more willing to battle through contact. His mid-range game has become a weapon, his playmaking has matured, and his defensive awareness has improved over the years. He could have settled into being only a legendary shooter, but instead he reshaped himself into a complete offensive engine. Nights like this reinforce why the organization still feels urgency to maximize what remains of his prime. The front court also played its role, particularly with Al Horford providing steady production and leadership. His stat line may not jump off the page, but his impact was undeniable. He spaced the floor, knocked down timely shots, protected the rim, and made smart reads on both ends. There's a calm that comes with his minutes, a sense that the team knows exactly what it is getting. His ability to stretch the defense adds a layer that was missing in past seasons, and his confidence shooting from deep feels higher than it ever did earlier in his career. Draymond Green delivered another classic Draymond performance, one that blends chaos with control. He chipped in across the board, hit a three, battled on the glass, and anchored the defense with his communication. Even when the stat sheet looks modest, his fingerprints are everywhere. His intensity set the tone defensively, and his ability to switch, recover, and disrupt passing lanes helped Golden State maintain momentum during key stretches. The bench continued to be a difference maker as the game wore on. D'Anthony Melton's numbers may not stand out at first glance, but his defensive activity was crucial. He generated deflections, contested shots, and provided rim protection from the guard spot. Those plays do not always get replayed, but they fuel transition opportunities and prevent opposing runs. His presence added to the collective effort that defined this win. Quentin Post also gave solid minutes, doing exactly what was asked of him. He stayed within himself, knocked down an open three, and competed on the boards. Not every role player needs to explode offensively. Sometimes, simply executing and maintaining structure is enough, especially when the stars are carrying the scoring load. That balance was evident throughout the rotation. There was concern, however, with Guay Santos leaving the game early after rolling his ankle. His recent contributions have been important, particularly with his energy and versatility. His absence could test the depth moving forward, forcing other wings to step into larger roles. That pressure will likely fall on players like Moses Moody and others who must now prove that performances like this are not isolated moments. All of this unfold against the backdrop of ongoing trade discussions and uncertainty surrounding parts of the roster. Despite that, the Warriors looked connected, focused, and motivated. They played like a group that still believes in what it can accomplish together. The win pushed them further above the break-even mark and nudged them closer to climbing the Western Conference standings, reinforcing that they are far from ready to fade away. This game was not about excuses or who was missing on the other side. It was about execution, effort, and identity. Golden State sent a message that it still expects to compete, still expects to matter, and still expects to be dangerous when the postseason picture comes into focus. Another encouraging sign was how composed the Warriors looked during moments where New York tried to push back and speed the game up. In previous weeks, those stretches often led to rushed shots and defensive breakdowns, but this time Golden State stayed disciplined. The ball continued to move side to side, players trusted the extra pass, and there was a clear commitment to getting quality looks rather than forcing hero plays. That composure speaks to growth, especially for a team that has struggled with consistency all season. Defensively, the effort level was impossible to ignore. Rotations were sharper, closeouts were more controlled, and communication was noticeably better. Even when the Knicks found ways to score, the Warriors responded with physical defense and timely stops. Draymond Green's voice anchored that effort, but it was the collective buy-in that made the difference. Guards fought over screens, wings stayed engaged off the ball, and the paint was protected without excessive fouling. There was also a sense that roles are starting to become clearer. Players looked more comfortable in their minutes, understanding when to attack and when to defer. That clarity allowed the offense to flow more naturally and reduce the stagnant possessions that have plagued them in losses. When everyone knows their responsibility within the system, the game slows down, and that confidence shows in shot selection and defensive reads. Moments like this raise important questions about what this team can look like if it continues to build on performances like this one. The combination of veteran leadership, emerging young contributors, and a renewed defensive edge creates a foundation that feels sustainable. If the Warriors can replicate this level of focus and execution on a nightly basis, the rest of the conference will have no choice but to take them seriously again. Before we continue, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any exclusive Dubs updates. Let's keep going. Explosion in the NBA rumor mill. Sources close to the league are buzzing with whispers that the Golden State Warriors may have just pulled off the biggest coup of the offseason. According to insiders, the Warriors have emerged victorious in what many are calling the most intense and unpredictable market battle of recent memory. While official confirmations remain absent, the chatter suggests that Golden State's front office has leveraged its mix of savvy strategy, deep pockets, and star appeal to outmaneuver several heavyweight contenders who were reportedly in the chase. Industry observers describe the maneuver as audacious, hinting at a series of behind-the-scenes negotiations that could reshape the balance of power in the league. This isn't just about a player signing. It's a statement, one source claimed, emphasizing the potential ripple effects across the entire NBA landscape. Speculation is rife over who exactly was the target of this high-stakes pursuit. Some suggest it could involve a marquee free agent, a veteran with championship pedigree, or a younger talent poised to explode onto the scene. Whatever the case, the whispers indicate that the Warriors' leadership may have pulled off a masterstroke that others could only dream of. The market dynamics this offseason have been unprecedented, with multiple franchises reportedly vying aggressively for top-tier talent, but Golden State appears to have emerged with an edge. Analysts are now scrambling to piece together the implications, with debates erupting over how this move could affect team chemistry, salary cap flexibility, and playoff prospects. Fans, meanwhile, are already buzzing on social media, dissecting cryptic hints dropped by insiders and former players alike, trying to connect the dots in what could be the story of the year. Even within the Warriors camp, sources hint at cautious excitement. While no public statements have been made, the energy surrounding the organization suggests that something significant is afoot. As the rumor continues to swirl, league insiders warn that if this speculation proves true, the Warriors may have not only won the market battle, but also positioned themselves as the team to watch in the months to come. Until official confirmation lands, all eyes remain fixed on Golden State, waiting to see whether the whispers will become reality and potentially redefine the NBA landscape for years to come. Stay updated exclusively with the latest Dub Nation news. Subscribe to our channel and hit the like button to keep getting daily updates on the Warriors. Don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments. Your input is essential for the Dubs community. Stay tuned for the next video.